Welcome everybody to this edition of Attention Talk Video. I'm your host, ADHD and Attention Coach Jeff Copper, and we're here today with ADHD Coach Caroline McGuire. Caroline, welcome to the show.
Thanks so much for having me.
Caroline's a specialist in working with ADHD kids, young adolescents, and one of the things that is big, wasn't as big a deal when I was younger. We just got jumping on our bikes and ran down the streets, but play dates are a big deal, and that can be an area of stress for younger kids. Can you talk to us about that?
Sure. Some kids have an easy time making friends and some kids don't. And if your child maybe has some struggle socially, one thing that you can think about doing is using some coaching, which is a really good way of using open questions to talk to the child about the play date beforehand rather than and pre-plan a little bit rather than sort of just going into it. For kids who struggle a little bit socially, there's games you can play and really to role play with the child. What's going to happen when somebody takes the toy away, kind of thing.
Can you tell us about it? So role playing is really kind of like a modeling behavior that you do with them. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Sure. So for instance, we want to work with kids on whatever is difficult for them. So for instance, if you have a child who struggles with sharing or letting something go, you can model being a good winner, being a good loser, playing games with them and actually having them lose and having them work on their reaction so that when they're with a peer, they're not as apt to explode, melt down, and kind of end the play date.
And actually kind of simulate it beforehand, and even whether you play a game and then you win and talk to them about what they're going to do when that happens, or if somebody takes a toy from them, you talk about how they're going to react to that so that they're kind of prepared and they pause and implement that if it actually happens, so that for their social skills, they're welcome back and again.
Absolutely. It's a way to help sort of create a little bit of a better situation for a child. And obviously you want to help with their social development, but maybe there's a specific issue that they're struggling with, and if you role play that with them and practice, then when they go for the play date, they can do a better job.
Well, that's great advice. Thank you so much, Caroline, for coming on the show.
Thanks so much.